has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast. It's pain-free Friday. Ferrall's going out minutes on the mark. He waxing it up. 100, 200. I just had to get that in, Carver High, because that's like a really depressing thing to not be able to do that every Friday at the jump. And not being able to do it today was frustration at the highest level. So I just wanted to slip that in, that we were able to remind everybody that it was pain-free. And if you have pain, bring it in and we'll take care of you. So the NBA is making announcements. Here we go again with leagues in this country deciding they want to move all of their games to Europe.
That is what they want to do. Of course, they have more games that they are going to have out there. Manchester, of course, Manchester, England. They have going to announce a multi-year deal to play games there. I got to tell you, like, I don't think anyone in England cares about the NBA. Like, I'm kind of surprised at this one. I mean, that's soccer. They obviously have NFL games there. They've had some MLB games in England, but yeah, I don't know about this one. They're just looking to go everywhere at this point. It just doesn't end for them.
Is this the spaghetti noodle on the fridge? See if it sticks. I honestly like. They like soccer. They like football, football. They do not care even, and like they go to these NFL games because they have nothing better to do. Trust me, they don't care about the NBA there. I don't understand what is the fascination. I'm serious with these leagues. All of them, they just are obsessed with playing games in other countries. I mean, all over the world now. It's all over the world. It's not just England. It's not Europe. It's not just, it's Mexico. It's Australia. It's Ireland. They're going over the pond. Germany? Where aren't they playing games? I mean, before long, so as a season ticket holder of the Steelers, I'm losing games now. They get 9 games. Say goodbye to one of them. They're going to Ireland. All right, how many people can afford to just pick up and go to Ireland for a Sunday football game? And then what? You're going to have to take off Monday, right? How are you going to get back from that game and make it to work on Monday? You're not. So I don't understand why they're so obsessed with it. Like taking away our games that we pay all this money to go see. I mean, now we're not going to go see them. I don't like it one bit. I mean, sure, I'd love to go to Ireland and drink beer and go to the game. And, I won't. I'm not going to that game. It's just not happening. Some guy asked me the other day, can I have your tickets? Do those tickets, are they applicable to Ireland? Of course not. Of course not. That's just another way for them to make money.
They'll offer you first chance to buy package to go over there.
They already stole my money for the playoff game they never had at home. They already stole that money.
Tell them to put that towards it.
Here's another trick they have going now. Now they're like, now you can auto-renew your season tickets and pay in 4 installments. Just give me the bill for the season and I'll pay it, and stop sending me 5 million emails. Like, honestly, they're so painful. They are so painful. They really are. The NFL, they're painful. I don't know about you. Like, I know a guy that has 10 seats at Snoopy for the Giants. He bought them when they built the new stadium, and he has all these whatever PSLs, right? He literally told me that it cost him like $10,000 for each seat for the PSL, and then he has to pay the season. Then he has to pay the season tickets every year. He pays like hundreds of thousands of dollars since he's, got them. Since they started that stadium, he's paid well over 6 figures in tickets to watch that crappy team. No one even wants to go to their games anymore. Like you can't give those tickets away. You could give them to as a gift to someone for Christmas. They wouldn't even go. They'd rip them up. They couldn't even resell them if they tried. They could smoke a doobie with them. No one goes to Giants and Jet games. They don't. Those people that you see at their games, those are paid actors that they hire to sit in the seats. Aaron Rodgers fans.
Aaron Rodgers fans. All right. I know that we already gave our thoughts about NBA All-Star Weekend. And
I want to talk some more about it, though. Come on.
But I do have for you, I do have to, whether you like it or not, give you the numbers and the rosters for these games that are going to take place. So this is tonight, the Rising Stars. Now remember, 4 teams here this evening. Whoever wins this tonight gets to come back Sunday night and get their ass beat by the actual NBA All-Stars. So Chris Mullin, Mitch Richmond, Tim Hardaway. I like that. They had the Run DMC guys from the early 90s Warriors coaching the game.
I was there when they were playing.
And then Jeremy Lin will have the G League guys. That's Lin's team, which is McClung and Reed Shepard and some other guys.
They only care about him in New York, just so you're aware.
I'll tell you, just looking at these, I'm just going to leave it at that. The team that I think is the one to go for tonight is the Mullen team. They've got Castle, Edey, Keontae George, Trace Jackson Davis, Dalton Connect, Jalen Wells. That's the team, I think, that first team there.
Great, whatever you say. That's fantastic.
Good
who's
with
on
me
the
on
other
that?
teams? Honestly, who's on those other teams? Can you read off
Mitch
the players?
Richmond, yes. Kamara, Carrington, Kulaby, Scoot Henderson. I know that the kid, Missy from the Pelicans, was replaced today. He's hurt. He's not playing. And then the Thompson twins are on that Mitch Richmond team.
From the Bulls replacing the Lionel Messi guy?
The one who's in the dunk contest.
Who's zealous.
He's gonna play in the game and replace him. Hardaway has Anthony Black, Tristan Da Silva, Grady Dick, Jaquez, Richese, Sarr, and Kaysen Wallace.
They're not going to be bad. That's not too bad
either. That's not too bad either. And then you got a bunch of G League guys on Jeremy Lin's team. So Mullen, of course, the two best teams are playing each other.
Is
in the first
Bronny
game.
playing?
No Bronny.
No,
Bronny
he
didn't make the
sucked.
cut. They should have put him on the G League team, but then he would have taken everybody's juice. He would have been too much juice.
Yeah,
Bronny
and then they could have got LeBron to coach him instead of Jeremy Lin, who nobody cares about anymore.
Well, Mullen's team is laying 2.5 tonight to the Hardaway team.
Come on. Oh, God. Let me guess. Morency's betting on it.
Is laying 4.5 to the G League team in their game. So, and
Kevin and Joe are betting on it. You can guarantee your boy Franz and Kevin, they're betting on this for sure.
KW.
They got a lot, their whole paycheck. They're betting on this game.
Going to be in this. You know KW is going to be involved in this tonight.
Yeah.
The winners will play in the third game for a spot on Sunday night. Richmond and Mullen are the favorites. There's Richmond. Richmond, actually, they have as the favorite. I guess because they're playing the G League team first. So that's probably why. Give me Mullen at 185. I'm taking the team with Edey and Castle and Wells and Connect and Trace Jackson Davis. I'm taking that.
Yeah.
He's not
we
really
did watch him
They're
coach
rolling
at St.
the ball
John's.
out there.
He wasn't much of a coach.
Not a good coach. But he's not actually coaching. He's just there. I will give you the dunk contest and the three-point contest when we come back. The numbers, if you would like to get involved with that on Saturday night. I got Sunday nights, too.
Listen, I did watch them play together in San Francisco.
They were great.
Run TNC. They were great.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why?
Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Road management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We'll talk to our buddy Drano Lano about the Genesis at Torrey Pines a little bit later this hour. We're still talking about the big All-Star weekend in San Francisco for the NBA.
We are still talking about the big All-Star weekend. Let's go to Saturday night now, where we do have a few things for you. We'll start with the three-point contest for All-Star Saturday night. Damian Lillard has won the last 2 years. He is going for the three-peat, and he is plus 375 for that. Darius Garland is 5-1. You then have Hero, Buddy Hield, Norman Powell, Jalen Brunson, Cam Johnson, and Cade Cunningham, the long shot at 12-1. Everyone is on Lillard to three-peat.
All right, so I guess that sounds like it could very well happen. He's won it twice, but am I going to get anything out of it? No. So why don't we go with those Hield Powell numbers? I'm going to go. Can I make some money here if I get lucky?
Yeah.
I mean, we just talked about how great Norman Powell has been this year for the Clippers. Could he get lucky and surprise Dame time on Saturday night, or Buddy Hield, who can definitely jack threes? Hero Sandwich isn't bad at 5-1 either. He can shoot them.
Yeah, I like that mix. Those three guys in the fives. I'm going to go Hield, and I'll take a deep shot too. Cam Johnson at plus 850. Cam Johnson at plus 850. He can hit him too.
Great.
I'm going to take one long shot. I got to take one guy. And now, what you really have been waiting for, the dunk contest on Saturday night. I've got numbers for you. Mac McClung also looking for a three-peat, like Lillard. He's minus 210. Andre Jackson Jr., 5-1. Bazulius is 7-1 from the Bulls, and Castle's 8-1. Your numbers for the slam dunk contest.
I'll take Castle at 8-1 because I want a big payout, and I'm not interested in this whatsoever. And McClung, he's not even in the league, and he keeps winning the dunk contest. Like, what is happening here? And then how about he announced this is his final one? He should do himself a favor and keep doing it because he matters so little in basketball now that this is the only thing that keeps his name relevant.
This is the only thing he's got. Why would you give it up? I mean, they keep asking you back every year.
Even he's gone primo on us. The guy that has nothing.
I mean, he's one step away from playing in that the TBT tournament in the summer. I mean, you might as well keep showing up.
Well, there's some money at stake there, at least.
Probably not as much as winning the dunk contest. You got a couple bucks for that. I mean,
listen, what does he
make his whole year?
I want to know is what has he got out of it? Like, you remember, didn't Spud Webb and these guys, they got commercials at some point out of it? Weren't they doing cereal or something? This guy McClung, he wins back to back, and he's never done anything. What is he? Have you ever seen him do anything else ever? When it's over for him, when he wins, it's over. There's no residual.
See, this is why nobody does it. The player who wins gets $100,000. That's it. $100,000. Now, for us, $100,000 would be great. For guys who make $40 million a year, they are not going to do the dunk contest.
That's what's wrong with it. They should put $5 million on the table, and then everyone would show up.
Everybody will start doing it. All right, Sunday night is the game. Again, 4-team tournament, just like tonight. The winner of tonight will be there. Shaq has a team. Kenny has a team. Chuck has a team. Shaq has LeBron, Curry. Remember, AD's not playing. Kyrie swiped in for him. Jason Tatum, Durant, Lillard, Harden, Brown. Kenny's got Ant, Jalen Brunson, Jaren Jackson, Jalen Williams, Darius Garland, Mobley, Cade Cunningham, and Hero. And Chuck has Joker, Giannis, SGA. Remember, Giannis not playing. He's out. Trey will be in his spot. Trey Young, Wembanyama, Siakam, Şengün, Kat, and Donovan Mitchell.
Shaq and Chuck in the final, clearly.
Shaq and Chuck in the final, clearly. Well, that actually would work because Chuck is playing Kenny in the first game, I believe. This is the odds to win the whole thing for you. There you go. Shaq is the favorite, and then Chuck, 155, 165. Now
everything is going Shaq's way. Candace is the rising star team that gets in.
Right. Correct. Okay, so whoever wins
Shaq,
tonight.
Everything's turning up roses for Shaq. He just got a fat new deal from Turner, paying him ungodly amounts of money, literally long-term, $15 million per year. And when you got that dropping on your doorstep, the day of the All-Star weekend starting, he's going to win the whole thing. It's Shaq's weekend, as usual.
It's Shaq's weekend. I agree. Chuck will play Kenny in the first game. Chuck's -3.5.
What happened to the Jet? Honestly, can I just come out with it right now? Because I'm mean, as you know. Do you remember when Kenny played and he won titles with the Rockets and he was a great player? When did he get bow-legged? When did that happen? When did he get to the point where he was bow-legged? When he had, a bunch of knee surgeries? Have you ever seen this guy walk now and run back to that screen? He literally is bow-legged. Have you ever seen that?
Great.
His legs. Have you ever seen anyone run or walk like that?
Not a good scene.
It's the funniest thing ever.
Good scene.
I am mean. I'll come right out with it. You got a weakness, we exploit it here.
Shaq, whose team, by the way, I didn't know they had team. Shaq is the OGs. Chuck is the Global Stars. Kenny's the Young Stars. Shaq will play the Candace team, and he's going to lay 6.5. And let me just tell you something. I'll lay that right now.
They win by 60.
I'll lay the first to 40 wins. They win that game 40 to 20. 40 to 20.
I'll lay 35 and still win.
35 for him. All-Star weekend in the NBA. You really can't match the excitement.
I mean,
it's just that. It's just too much. In fact, I found a way to exceed it, though, when I come back and talk to you about the Four Nations face-off that's going to be going on tomorrow with these games.
Everybody loves hockey.
at some point, these 80s are going to learn we don't need to hire ex-NBA guys. I need guys with college experience who's gone out and recruited, who know how to develop talent. NBA guys with no college experience don't work in college basketball. I understand they run NBA-style offenses, but it doesn't mean they can run college programs.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
In a short format tournament like this, like the Olympics, now this is even smaller, only 4 teams. Who's got the best goaltending? Over, you're talking 3 round robin games and then a knockout with 4 teams. So you're playing 5 games.
I'm not sold yet, Mike, on the USA stuff, on the merch, but I think I'm sold on the USA at least being in the final.
Only on SportsGrid.
I got to tell you, when I'm watching the hockey and just everybody hates us. I mean, I about had it. Like I'm getting fed up with it, to be honest with you. I'm like starting to be like, okay, well, 2 can play that game. How about we hate you more? Like I honestly, like tomorrow night, I'm so into that now, and not just for hockey reasons. I want to shut these people up. I'm sick and tired of their booing asses. And, if it wasn't for us, they'd be speaking German.
There has been quite a bit of booing.
They couldn't defend their own mother without us.
In Montreal last night. I can only expect it's going to be worse tomorrow night when we have Canada versus USA for the world at the Four Nations face-off.
So wait, let me get this straight. So we play them up there, and then we play them again in Boston.
Well, if that's the final, we'd play them again in Boston.
Otherwise, we just play them in Canada, and we may not play them in the U.S., so they get the advantage.
Well, let's look at it this way. If the United States beats them tomorrow night, and let's say it's in regulation, they're going to have 6 points. They're going to be in the game. They're going to be in the championship game, and Canada will have to, hope they got to beat Finland on Monday.
So right now we have 3 points and they have 2.
Correct. U.S. is 1 point up on Canada going into this game.
So right now it goes U.S., Canada, Sweden, Finland.
Yes. So that's what it heads into, and if they face off again next Thursday night for the title, it will be in Boston. So that's which I like.
I'll tell you what, I hope that it is, and I hope they play again, and then I hope they get a taste of their own effing medicine, and I hope all of those drunks and fat losers in Boston come out and get all kinds of rowdy and vociferous and get crazy and, filthy language, bring it all, start throwing beers. Let's see how they like it in Canada then. Let's see how they like it. You want to dish it out. Let's see if you can take it from some real idiots and a-holes. Because I guarantee you we got more of them here.
Probably. Last night, of course, the United States
sick of
beat
listening
Finland
to them whine.
6-1.
Bunch of whiny bees. Honestly, you booing ass whiny bees. You're gonna get a taste of your own effing medicine. It's coming. Do it again tomorrow night. Just keep it up, and then see what happens to you when you go to Boston. You won't even be able to come out on the ice. They'll start throwing bottles at you. Here, we don't have for round. You want a piece? Bring it. Come to Boston and see what you get. Bunch of idiots.
Tight game going into the third period last night. 2-1, the United States led. They had a power play to start.
They beat their ass.
And let's just say things escalated quickly for the United States on ESPN.
Zone entry. Score! Long wrister from Kachuk. Just like that. This hits. Team USA with a 2-goal lead. A deflection. You would think on the long wrister from Matthew Kachuk. Austin Matthews off to Gensel. Score! Matthews to Gensel. 26 seconds and 2 Team USA goals to extend the lead to 3.
I mean, to tell you, like, I'm starting to get into it. Like, this is fantastic stuff. All I need is, I need the hockey, college rack, and golf. I don't need any of this. And I love basketball more than anybody. And, you know, I play ball more than anybody around here. I can guarantee you that with all the in-shape people we got around here. I ball out every day. But I wouldn't watch that stuff this weekend if you kidnapped me and, you know, put me in a room and turned up the volume, you know, like they do in, like, Guantanamo. They turn up the volume and play the heavy metal music, no light, waterboarding. They torture you. You couldn't get me to watch if you waterboarded me. I'm on to the hockey, college rack, golf, all three like this. I'm changing the channel like I got a problem. I'm just constantly changing the channel, Carver.
You'll have a lot of those three things this weekend, as we'll talk about. Both the Kachuk brothers had 2 goals last night for the United States. Big bust out for them. We will come back. I'll give you the numbers. Rivalry Saturday at this thing. Finland, Sweden, USA, Canada. Double dip.
No one cares about Finland and Sweden.
The main event is at night, yes, with USA and Canada.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
You want me to solve all this tush-push and fourth down malarkey that goes on with the officials? Here's a crazy idea. Get rid of the worst rule in the NFL, and that is forward progress. How about this? Where I knock your ass in the ground is where the ball goes, period. Let's end this whole conversation. Like, if I drop it back 4 yards, then you lost 4 yards. If we get rid of forward progress, this tush-push and everything else is taken care of. Where I put your tail on the ground is where the ball goes, end of conversation. It's the dumbest rule and the most arbitrary rule. The only thing that is a worse call in the NFL than forward progress is the punt that goes out of bounds when you watch the official walk down the sideline having absolutely no clue where that ball crossed over. All I can think of is that Price is Right game go do-de-do-de-do, do-de-do-de-do, as he's walking down the sideline, arbitrarily trying to figure out where the ball crossed over because he's got no clue.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Turning the corner here in the second half on a pain-free Friday, C2C. Good to have you with us on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid along with Carver High and Ferrall. We're in New York City. And what are the odds? What do you got for me in terms of odds in this hockey? Everybody loves hockey.
So you get Four Nations face-off doubleheader on Saturday. A matinee, 1 o'clock East between Finland and Sweden. The loser of this game is going to pretty much be finished in this thing as we turn the corner towards Boston on Monday. Sweden minus 210, Finland plus 172, total 5.5 for the first game. You can get the puck and a half with Finland at minus 154 there. Of course, the nightcap, United States and Canada, just after 8 o'clock, although if it's like last night, I guess it's more like 8:30. Pick a minus 110 both ways and a big 6.5 for the total. And actually, I'll start there. That's what jumps out at me first. And I did this on the NHL Today show earlier, Scotty. I think that's way too much. I think that this is going to be a high intensity, close to the vest type of game. 2-1, 3-2. I think 6.5. So I know there's a lot of talent out there. I think 6.5 is way too heavy for United States and Canada.
So you're going under the 6.5 in that war, and I got to tell you, I think it's going to be hard to beat them in the Bell Center in that atmosphere Saturday night. I just think that the whole world's against them, and they've got a serious edge with that crowd and playing in their homeland. I just think they're going to be hard to beat. Obviously, I want the USA to win the game, but I think the better bet is Canada. And I'll tell you one thing: what is the line on getting the goal and a half? Like you're telling me I can get a goal and a half?
Yeah, I mean that's heavy. The goal and a half with United States is minus 280 because it's
I'm not going there. So like I think the bet is for me, and you know. You may be right. So far, all I've seen is overs. But now you got to get 7 goals. Before I needed 6 goals, and I hit both of them. I hit overs in both games. The Sweden game with Canada and then the USA-Finland, it went over as well. I've hit both overs. So, God, I would love to see an over. I'd love to see an over Canada-US. I'd love to see 4-3. I'm gonna go for it. I'm going to go over. Okay. And I'm going to go, I think the best bet is Canada, but God forbid I bet on Canada. So I got to bet on the U.S. and the over. God forbid. I think Canada's the better bet, though, at home in the Bell Center. I think they'll get the crowd, and I bet they get a power play or 2 edge.
See, that's what worries me. What kind of whistle is this game going to have? Because if this is a game where there's going to be a lot of power plays, then the 6.5 doesn't have a shot. If there's going to be, because those 2 power plays are both so lethal with the United States and Canada. So I don't think they have a shot there. I think that under plays more to the United States winning. I think if this game's a track meet, like you said, Canada will win. If this game's a track meet and they're going up and down the ice, I think United States has to grind this game a little more. They have the better goaltender. I think it's a game where they need to play to the under. Right. And the United States can win it. And I think they will.
Let me be clear. I think that Canada's the better bet at minus 110 and the over for me. I want USA, so I'm stupid enough to bet USA in the over. But I think the smart bet is Canada in Montreal at the Bell Center, getting a power play in the third period and winning that game. I could see it. And then hopefully what I'm like digesting here is the fact that you've convinced me that at some level it could be USA, Canada in the final next week in Boston. That's what I want, and that's the one that's going to matter. And that's the one I'll bet on the USA for sure. Now, I'm stupid enough to bet on them tomorrow, but I honestly, I'm giving you, the audience on SportsGrid, I think the better bet is Canada in this first game. At home, I think they're the play. But I'm stupid enough to go the other way in both games because I hate them. And you know what sucks is my guy, Crosby, is on Canada, and I have to hate him too for, a couple days. And then I'll get back to loving him.
Well, that's also what stares me in the face is that, 26 straight games that Crosby's played for Canada, they've won. And that stares me in the face as well. They don't lose when Crosby's out there. I did want to tell you that early game, the Finland-Sweden game, I like the over in that game. I think we'll get goals there, and I like Finland with the goal and a half at minus 154. I think it'll be a tight game.
What's the total in that game?
5.5. So they have a 5.5 in that game. So I'm going to take the over.
Yeah, and I think that's easy pickings, too, for an over. I think, this is, so far, it's been wild games. I mean, let's face facts. Last night was not a good game. It was a wild game, though. 6-1, 7 goals. So every game has been wild. 4-3 in overtime. I'm going to go over in that game as well. I'm going to go over in every game until I see otherwise.
And the last game of the round robin is Monday. We will actually have, I guess it would be the third period of the afternoon game, Canada and Finland, when we come on coast to coast Monday afternoon. Because that's
Canada
a 1 o'clock
will
game.
kill Finland, just like the U.S. did.
Could be. Well, we'll see. What happens tomorrow is going to determine how much gas is in the tank for those games on Monday. What's going to matter? Who needs what? How many points does each team need to maybe make the game? So
it's not like
it could be a lot of fun.
They give them a day off between all these games. These guys play so many games in the NHL. Yeah. I don't believe they're tired. I really don't.
No, and when they both play Monday, they'll then get Tuesday, Wednesday off and play the championship game Thursday night next week. So that's where
these guys play 4 nights a week to begin with. And they travel and they stay in hotels, and all of it's 5-star. Everything about it. We told you this. Yes. Hotels, the plane is private. The bus is as nice as it gets. I'm surprised they don't have food on the buses. Now, I've seen it on the planes, in the hotels. They have these magnificent buffets. I've yet to see. Now, on the bus, I'll tell you what they do on the bus. It didn't know. So what they do on the bus is you'll get on the bus on the road and they'll literally have 100 pizzas on the bus in boxes on like 3 rows of seats. And the guys get on the plane and you walk down the row and you just start grabbing slices of pizza and you walk back to your seat with like 5 slices of pizza. They buy them 100 boxes of pizza and it's on the bus if they got a long trip. Sometimes they don't want to cook. They don't want to have a fancy meal on the plane, so they'll just go rogue and go pizza, which everyone loves pizza.
And they're going to get a nice travel. It's not like they're leaving tomorrow night after the game. They'll sleep in Montreal, get a nice mid-afternoon flight, quick 1-hour jumper to Boston, back in the 5-star in Boston, get themselves all ready for Monday afternoon and night. So there you go.
They don't have 5-star hotels in Boston. Everything's 3 and 4. It's a real slovenly city.
That's probably true as well. I've got lots of NFL that I'll give you later after I talk to Drano. They did have the parade today, by the way. And of course, I don't have this on the board, so I'll just say this to you now. What the hell is the matter with these people? They can't even enjoy themselves at a parade. Again, like last year in Kansas City, 2 people shot on the parade. Like,
how about the GM getting cracked in the head with a bottle and split his head open?
Oh, my God. Like, why can't they do? You know what they're going to do? People are going to stop having these, is what they're going to do.
I think they should already stop having them. What is worse than going around any large amount of people, like So did you see Bourbon Street on Sunday, the day of the game? You couldn't even move. That is a place I don't want to be. You could barely get me to go to an airport and feel safe anymore, let alone be around people.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
You want me to solve all this tush-push and fourth down malarkey that goes on with the officials? Here's a crazy idea. Get rid of the worst rule in the NFL, and that is forward progress. How about this? Where I knock your ass on the ground is where the ball goes, period. Let's end this whole conversation. Like, if I drop you back 4 yards, then you lost 4 yards. If we get rid of forward progress, this tush-push and everything else is taken care of. Where I put your tail on the ground is where the ball goes, end of conversation. It's the dumbest rule and the most arbitrary rule. The only thing that is a worse call in the NFL than forward progress is the punt that goes out of bounds when you watch the official walk down the sideline having absolutely no clue where that ball crossed over. All I can think of is that Price is Right game go do-de-do-de-do, do-de-do-de-do, as he's walking down the sideline, arbitrarily trying to figure out where the ball crossed over because he's got no clue.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Always good to get Drano back on. Andrew Drano Lano, the former tour caddy. Always enjoy his golf angles on C2C. It's good to have you back on the show. Let's start with when you were on tour and you used to carry the bag at the Waste Management. And it was a different tournament back then because on the 16th now, they're pounding beers. There's like 4 levels of seating. They're throwing drinks on the golf course. Everybody's getting hammered. It's a mob scene. It's like Bourbon Street on golf. It's chaos and bad behavior, and they encourage it. But when you were carrying the bag, it was anything but.
Yes, Scotty. Hey, great to be back on C2C. Yeah, I mean, I was there the first year, and in 1987, when we came to that tee, there might have been 12 or 15 people standing there. So it's the same exact hole. They haven't touched it. I can tell you they haven't touched it. They've just made it a coliseum. And on the short side of that, there used to be a tent up by the golf course or closer up to the clubhouse, probably held about 2,500 people. It was called the Bird's Nest. So that thing started, and Jake and Peter Jacobson used to come in there with Jake Trout and the Flounders with Payne Stewart, Mark Lye, Larry Rinker. They used to play with a small little couple thousand people in there having a good time, and then it morphed into everything that it is now.
That's crazy. So what about the Lano Family Foundation? You have a huge tournament every year in honor of your father. And it's up near Portland, Maine, near Bar Harbor, where the Good Lobster is. Tell me about that event.
Yeah, well, we started a foundation in my dad's honor, and family foundation with my two sisters, Melody, Maureen, and my brother John, and we established that in 2012. My dad was a great athlete in high school at Portland High, and so we decided to give a sports scholarship for the outstanding athlete and scholar there at Portland High. So we started that in 2013, and we're into our 11th year now. We'll be giving the scholarship in May, and then every year we have the Action Andy Memorial Classic, which is the tournament that we raise the funds for to help send these kids to the secondary education for their expenses. It's a $10,000 scholarship. So it's been amazing. We didn't know where it would go, and we really enjoy doing it. And prior to that, actually, I'm having a PGA Caddy Day down at TPC the Monday after TPC, and I invite my caddy friends, some of my famous caddy friends that I ran with for 25 years. I invite people in, and they pay to play with the caddies for a day and donate. So
Wow, awesome.
we got some big events coming up.
Yeah, that is great. That's fantastic. I'm glad you have all those events and everybody has a blast and for good causes on top of that. All right, let's talk about Torrey Pines. I played that South course 25 times. I just saw that 9th tee. Every time I got on that 9th tee box, it looked so inviting, like a hooker. Like I look at it, I'm like, oh, look at this big, beautiful fairway. Oh, I'm just going to jack this ball out here about 290. And I am just going to go par this hole, maybe birdie. And then every time I go right and I'm in trouble. I'm behind trees, bunkers, thick, ankle-deep rough. I have never once hit that fairway in my life. It's the worst nightmare tee shot of my life, that South 9.
You just don't want to bounce it off those condos down the businesses down the left. Is that what you're guarding against? Because that's the only thing that's over there.
I go right every time. So what do you think of this course? Was absolutely douched. It was so wet from yesterday and last night that we were seeing the same thing again today. The sun's out in some spots. It's cloudy in others, but it's dank wet and the scores just aren't there.
No, I mean, I was telling someone earlier today, I said, they were just here 2 weeks ago and they were in short sleeves and, they were lighting the place up pretty much or whatever. But when you get this course damp, like you said, they had an inch of rain. And since last week, they let the rough grow. So now the ball's really taking a dive when it goes in there. And put that on top of the fact, as you know from living there, the ball goes absolutely nowhere. I mean, you listen to these guys in these interviews and they go, I smashed this club and it didn't even go anywhere. Well, from living there, the ocean and all that going on, it's not going to go anywhere. So basically, this is sort of a mini U.S. Open going on.
I'll tell you what, Oberg, though, is playing great today. 5 under today, I think through 14. He's got it going. Rory's got it going. Thompson's got it going. All of those guys 4 under for the day.
Yeah, I mean, little note on Rory, which you may or may not heard, and I heard this the other day, and I was really surprised, but I didn't realize that he's never won back-to-back events on the PGA Tour. In all of his, 14 years, however many years he's been out there, he's never gone
That's
consecutively.
Crazy.
Yeah, right. What did he just won like the Pebble Beach. So, I mean, and then you had Aberg. He was hashing on the course a couple of weeks ago, and it actually was this course, I think. So now he's back. I mean, this is a good course for him, I can tell you. And it's obviously good for Scheffler. Scheffler is short game wizard. The places he has gotten up and down from today, that's what's really going to do it in the end at this place, because they're not going to hit all the fairways. They're not going to hit all the greens. These things, you got to get it up and down to survive. And that's, your best short game guys are going to be the ones in the end.
I got 30 seconds, I like watching Scheffler lose. I'm not a fan. I want other guys to beat him. I don't want him to win every week.
No, I mean, I'm with you. I mean, I like him as a person, and I'm very good friends with his caddy. But you're right; it gets old. It's we need some fresh stuff here to get up there and start bumping him around a little bit instead of himself doing it in the kitchen with a knife and giving them or a glass or whatever he did. and giving these guys a break when he doesn't show up.
So people just here's a little inside tip for you. Drano and I have been friends for a while now, and we argue on Twitter all the time. We fight and argue. All we do is fight and argue like drunk buddies. Love you, Drano. Good stuff.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
You want me to solve all this tush-push and fourth down malarkey that goes on with the officials? Here's a crazy idea. Get rid of the worst rule in the NFL, and that is forward progress. How about this? Where I knock your ass on the ground is where the ball goes, period. Let's end this whole conversation. Like, if I drop you back 4 yards, then you lost 4 yards. If we get rid of forward progress, this tush-push and everything else is taken care of. Where I put your tail on the ground is where the ball goes, end of conversation. It's the dumbest rule and the most arbitrary rule. The only thing that is a worse call in the NFL than forward progress is the punt that goes out of bounds when you watch the official walk down the sideline having absolutely no clue where that ball crossed over. All I can think of is that Price is Right game go do-de-do-de-do, do-de-do-de-do, as he's walking down the sideline, arbitrarily trying to figure out where the ball crossed over because he's got no clue.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Yeah, you have no idea how much Carbohydrano loves to argue sports. I don't know if you've ever gotten into a sports argument with Drano, but it can it can go on all day. My man will go at it. Like, you got to have him on the debate team. If we get a SportsGrid debate team going, we might have to hire Drano because he will go to the hilt. Anyway, good to have Drano on. So Kellen Moore is very excited about the ability to eat at the Acme Oyster Bar in New Orleans. He's also looking forward to being the coach of the loser Saints.
Yeah, he was introduced yesterday, his opening press conference. I will let you know, he did say he was coming back to Philly today to be part of this big parade that they were having to celebrate the Super Bowl title. But here's one thing I already see about this guy. He's going to join, we got that bucket. There's 2 buckets we put these coaches in. Sometimes 3, but really there's 2. Exciting, likes to talk, interesting, and then there's the other guys who are stiff as a board nerds who are going to give you absolutely nothing. And I think I already know which bucket we're going to be putting this guy in. Kellen Moore, very excited for the future in New Orleans.
Finally, as we went through this interview process, I feel very fortunate that I got to go and interview with multiple teams. It became very clear what made this organization really special, and it was the leadership. Each interaction grew more and more confident in the opportunity that this presented. The opportunity to team up with Mickey Loomis, one of the winningest general managers in the National Football League history, was a perfect opportunity for myself.
Wow.
The other leadership within his group, Kai Harley, Jeff Ireland, Michael Parrington, Randy Mueller, can't wait to get started. Really, really excited about this opportunity. I'm so thankful for it.
You look it. Guy delivers your paper. I mean, you see your boy there? I mean, was he running for office?
Like
what was that? So, obviously,
I mean,
Derek
remember
Carr,
the Van Halen a video where the mother greases the kid's hair over to the side?
Hot for Teacher? I think that was the Hot for Teacher video.
Squeaking the hair.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of that to it. Here he is basically giving you no answer. Somebody asked him, well, Derek Carr's your quarterback right now. He's got like a $50+ million cap hit. I'm sure you're looking to get out from under that. Towing the company line. Kellen Moore.
Yeah, Derek's a tremendous quarterback in this league. I've had so much respect for him, the journey that he's been on. He's a starter in this league. He's a premier player in this league. He's had a great journey, obviously going from Fresno State to the Raiders and now here. Really excited to team up with him and go through this process.
Yeah, right. Until you cut
Get rid of that $50 million.
Real excited. He's a premier player in this league. Calm down. The premier player in the league.
Honestly.
Maybe 5 years ago, maybe. I don't even know if he was then. The Saints did resign.
You're right. He wasn't then either.
I don't think he was then a premier player in the league.
He was part of the 10 years of the Raiders had the worst record in the NFL, and he was their quarterback. They never won.
Never won. Saints re-signed Clyde Edwards-Helaire to a 1-year deal. They picked him up late in the season. He did all right for them. The Giants, the G-Men, Big Blue, looking to sell off 10% of the team. The Mara and the Tisch families have retained Moelis & Company to explore the sale. The team could set the bar for franchise evaluations. They are talking, Scotty, between 7 and 8 billion with a B that the Giants could be worth. You slice 10% of that off, and you get yourself a very large number. This is similar to what Mark Davis has done with the Raiders, giving little pieces to Brady, etc., and a couple other owners have done around the league.
Yeah, I haven't had time to really absorb it and wonder why they're doing this when you have something that valuable other than you just don't like paying the bills. So obviously you want somebody to help you pay the bills. When you have an operation worth $7 billion, believe me, it's expensive to run it, to make that much money. So it sounds to me like they want somebody to help them with their fiscal problems. They're making tons of money. They're worth tons of money. Every team in the league is, and particularly in markets that are as big as New York, which is the number one market anywhere.
Or you just sell 10% now. I'm sure they both got like a ton of grandkids now. Throw them all each $10 million and get the hell away from me. That's it.
And they want them to have no involvement whatsoever in any decision making at all. They're like 10% of massive minority interest. Like, we don't even want to listen to you, but you can come to our board meetings.
Patino himself, in a clip that we just played, said basically the stats are not backing up the team's wins.
St. John's is offensive glass. That's where a lot of opportunities for St. John's came from. St. John's does not shoot the basketball well. It might even be fair to say they shoot it poorly. They were 3 of 16 from deep last night. But it doesn't seem to matter to them.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Road management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what?
circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
In a short format tournament like this, like the Olympics, now this is even smaller, only 4 teams. Who's got the best goaltending? Over, you're talking 3 round robin games and then a knockout with 4 teams. So you're playing 5 games.
I'm not sold yet, Mike, on the USA stuff, on the merch, but I think I'm sold on the USA at least being in the final.
Only on SportsGrid.